Mamaw here, and I thought we'd have a live discussion if you want to jump on and ask me questions. Governor DeWine this morning, well, last night, signed in the Ohio budget, which is going to cut millions from our school funding, which takes in not only the school funds, but it's also going to take care of school nutritional programs. Those are cut. He's cut the state portion of Medicaid, so when Medicaid comes from the federal government, the state has to kick in a portion. They're doing away with most of the state's portion, so when Donald Trump's big bullshit bill comes into effect, we're really going to be hurting. Just for Jackson County alone, since this is a southeastern Ohio issue, please understand that well over a third of our children benefit from Medicaid and lunch programs at school and get SNAP. A whole third. So when we're voting 2/3 for Donald Trump and for Republicans, we're cutting our own throats. You're absolutely voting against your own best interest. So I'm going to let you in on a little something. Has nothing to do with Democrat or Republican. It has to do with being so sure of your vote that they can gerrymander these districts any way that they want, and they don't even have to campaign. These guys have got it down to a science. If there's an R after their name, they don't even have to show up and campaign, and you're going to vote for them. So what that means is they're not working for your vote. And if they're not working for your vote, they take you for granted. They're going to do what they want because they know that you'll accept anything they put out in front of you. So while they're eating steak, they're handing you a can of bologna and saying, oh, enjoy it. Well, screw you. Tell them poor people that they need to suck it up as a bit rich, don't you think? To top that all off, they're giving a billionaire family taxpayer money to build the Browns a new stadium. Well, first of all, I can't stand the Browns. I got a lousy football team. Maybe they ought to try to win a few times before they do that. But the other thing is why are taxpayers funding that? What are we out of southeastern Ohio going to get out of that deal? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So in our state district, Senate district, and our state representative districts, we have Shane Wilkin as our state senator. Jason Stevens is our state representative. When's the last time you saw him in Jackson County? When's the last time they had a town hall in Jackson County? When's the last time they came and had an open thing, let's say at the park or somewhere, with other voters to campaign for your vote? Exactly. So there you go. They just know that they're in like Flint. And if you haven't watched it yet, please watch HBO's Dark Money, because then you're going to see just how Shane Wilkin got put into place and what his job is. And his job is to do what he's told to these dark money lobbyists. That's what Shane's job is. So then we move on to our congressional district. So right now, they're in the process of finishing up what it's going to take to pass on Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill, which is the bullshit bill. It, too, is going to severely cut Medicaid, and it's going to have cuts to Medicare. So any senior out there, anybody who needs memory care, nursing home care, you just screwed them. Right royal, they're toast. Special needs people who need critical medical care because of their special needs are going to have difficulty. We already had a work program in there, but now they're making it seem like everybody's just sitting on their duff. Most people that get Medicaid are working. They're working poor people because most of these small employers can't afford good insurance policies, so they buy into a Medicare program, or Medicaid program, excuse me. So what are we doing here, folks? You're screwing your neighbor for what reason? Just so you can say you're a MAGA? Come on. What we need to do is to realize we need to make people work for us. And to do that, you can't be a solid red or blue county. You need to be purple at all times. You need to go back and forth just to keep them on their toes. Because what that does is they're going to show up. They're going to work for your vote, and they know they've got to perform in order to continue to get your vote. That's what we need to do. So a lot of people are saying, well, I'm an independent. No, you're not. I can go through our county records over at the Board of Elections and prove to you that of the 20,000 non-affiliated independent voters, 70% of them, of you, vote consistently Republican. That's how that works. We've got 20,000 registered non-affiliated voters. We've got about 3,000-ish registered Republicans, and we've got less than 1,000 registered Democrats. Now, how it all hashes out at the end is we have about a 70-30 split in this county, which means that most of the people that claim to be independent aren't. Now, some of the reason for that is nobody votes in primaries. The reason, once a Republican pulls a petition in this county, they're guaranteed to be elected in the fall, so there's really no primary. We haven't had Democrats run as a full slate. We've had a few here and there run for commissioner, but as a full slate since 2008. And that was back when there was about an equal amount of Democrat, Republican, and Independent. So nobody votes in a primary, so nobody then is considered to be a registered Republican or Democrat. That's why it says so many independents. I'm having trouble with my live stream. So what we need is for people to have choices in the primary. We need Democrats to run. We need more than one Republican to run. And we need people to show up and vote. Again, there's nothing more aggravating than when people say in the fall, well, I didn't have much of a choice. Well, the reason you didn't have much of a choice is you didn't vote in the spring in order to make those choices. Right or wrong, that is how our system works. You show up in the spring at a primary, you have to declare a party, then you pick amongst whose offerings are there for your fall, and that's who you have a choice from. So to cop out and say, well, I didn't have a choice or I voted for the lesser of two evils, that's your own fault. That's being a lazy voter, and we've got to stop being lazy voters. By the same token, all these really old farts that are still in office, again, that's our fault. We're lazy voters. We keep voting them back in. And for people over 70 who are continually running for office, shame on you. We've got bright, young, talented people in the offering that need to be sheltered through. Our job, once you hit the 70 mark, is to be an elder statesman. It's to help them along. It's to help them with policy. It's to help them get elected because you've got those war chests. And don't say it's a matter of, oh, well, you know, they could get elected. No, they can't. You've got the machine. You've got the war chest. And after 70, you're just being selfish and it's your ego. I'm sorry. And that's not being ageist because I'm in that age group. That's just being selfish. We need young ideas, young, vibrant people to step up and get out there so that we have choices. And we have them there. But you old farts need to step aside and do the right thing. So, there again, we're being lazy voters. If somebody has been in office since Methuselah walked the earth, they need to go. People that have been in office a million terms need to go. And that's our job. Get them out. Get new blood in there. Get new people in there. Get new fresh ideas. Don't sit there and whine and bitch and moan about the shape our government's in if you're not participating or you're the one who keeps voting the same people in. That's the absolute definition of insanity, is to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and thinking you're going to get a different outcome, because you're not. Because right now they're corrupt to the core. And don't tell me that Republicans and Democrats are the same. They are not. The policies are vastly different. The things that we desperately rely on today, especially in this part of our state, are Democratic policies. All this road work that you're still seeing done, all of the infrastructure work that's been done in the last 3 years, you can thank the Democrats for. You can thank Joe Biden for sending that money out. I know the Republicans are really enjoying showing up at ribbon cuttings, but that was the infrastructure money. For those of you who have Medicaid benefit, thank the Democratic Party for that. Democratic policies are what gave us Medicaid to begin with. And that was under Lyndon Baines Johnson. Medicare was under the Johnson administration so that older people had good health care. Social Security was FDR, another Democrat. So all of these policies and all of these programs that we use are because of the Democratic Party. So no, they're not the same, because it is absolutely true. A rising tide lifts all boats. To have the rich get richer and the poor struggling more doesn't help this country. Our economy runs at its absolute best when everyone can participate. And I know everybody hates old Bill Clinton, but you know what? We had a balanced budget. Everyone was doing well economically. If you wanted a job, you had a job. And it was because everybody was participating in the economy. And for what everybody was upset on his womanizing pales compared to Donald Trump, who 70% of you made sure you voted into office. Well, the 70% in this county needs to step back and take a deep breath, realize what you've brought. It's okay to say, I thought he would be better this time around, but to do something to change the outcome. Because as it stands now, we are losing freedoms inch by inch. You need to start watching other news outlets. Surprisingly, I will watch Fox News just to see what's being fed out there. I've watched Newsmax. I also get a lot of my information online and by reading and research. Don't rely on one source, but listen to people and then look around. When you start losing benefits, look around. It's time to say, this is not working for me. And it's also time to be active. Now, do you have to join the party and do stuff? No, but you need to be out there protesting. You need to be out there calling. You need to be out there writing letters. And you need to show up and vote. And this is that one time when no matter what, if they're in office, you need to vote them out of office. In 2026, we have the entire state government of Ohio will be on the ballot. We've been under Republican rule for well over 20 years. Complete Republican rule except for the little blip for the 4 years that we had Ted Strickland in office. We have been under Republican rule in our county since 2006-ish. So for Jackson County, Ohioans, from Main Street, county government, all the way to the White House is 100% Republican controlled. So you can't complain about anything the Democrats are doing. You can't own the libs, because I got news for you. We're not snowflakes, we're snowplows. Don't care if you think you're going to own us. You've just screwed yourself thinking you're being tough. And I'm just talking really blunt here because somebody needs to do it. By the same token, you Democrats have got to stop being silent. When somebody says something outrageous or wrong, we have to say, I don't agree with that, that's wrong. So that's my take, that's my live event, and I hope to do more of these. Thank you for watching. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.